what they are is essentially right back there I have a little stand, and as I walk, it'll actually follow me around as it grabs my image, but it will do it in a slow pan, so it's not some annoying jerk motion back and forth. You can always grab different objects, so if you're bored to grabbing your puppy as it's walking by, you can put it right around the puppy, set it down, and it will just follow the puppy all around. So it's a pretty cool little device. They're like 50, 60 bucks on Amazon, so I'm like, this is kind of worth it for that, and it's a stabilizer. So if you're walking around for properties, very nice, keeps it at a level angle, and you can just walk around and talk and have your showing go through. But I am actually just going to jump right in. Hi, my name is Josh Kuchar. I am the Director of Marketing and Sales over at Xiaoami. We do get asked a lot how to pronounce our name. It is Xiaoami, not Xiaomi or Xiaoami or Xiaoani or Shawarma. Yes. You think I kid? But that has literally come up where somebody has been like, really, I looked at your name and thought you were a food company, and I said, that's not what I was going for. If you're curious to know how we came up with that name, Xiaoami, Ami actually means trust and friend in 2 different languages, and so we wanted to be a showing trust or showing friend to our agents. So that's the best way to kind of think about Xiaoami and how you roll. Now, I did want you guys to know, there is a little benefit of sticking around throughout the whole all Burton's LinkedIn learning here, because we do have door prizes. So now those door prizes come out at the very end of this presentation. I have to keep you here somehow, right? Now my goal is also not to stand up here and sell Xiaoami. How we're going to be doing today is that Burton's going to be standing up here going over some LinkedIn tips. We wanted to do our best to give back to our agents. The more educated that you are, the better that we equip you with tools to make you better, the more that you're going to request showings, right? That's the goal. So that's one of the mentalities, and that's what we're going for here. But that does not mean that at the end of his presentation, I will be up here to answer Xiaoami questions. If you want to stick around for a demo, I'd be more than happy to do a quick demo with a couple of you about exactly how Xiaoami works if you haven't already used it. So that is how we're going to go about today's presentation. I hope you all are excited to hear Burton talk. And without further ado, he is the tech expert. He is very knowledgeable when it comes to LinkedIn. I have learned things from him already. I like following him on LinkedIn because he does a great example of the kind of content you can look to post. Even as a keynote speaker, he is very good about saying, hey, here's what kind of tips and tricks I have for you today. So I'm really excited to hear him speak. We got to know each other at FRC a couple months ago.
Why do you always throw out those acronyms? Does anyone know what
Sorry,
FRC is?
for the real estate conference. So, if you don't know,
No, you said
I'm
NAR.
from Florida. I did.
If
If I
you
said
said NAR,
NAR,
then
it's a
obviously
little
everyone's
different.
going to get it. What's it?
What's that? FRC?
Yeah.
It's a frick. What the frick are you talking about? But anyway, without further ado, Burton, everybody.
Thank you. So, yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Burton Kelso. I'm out of Kansas City, but I am a national keynote and technology expert speaker. I own a computer services company called Integral out of Kansas City, and we share the same blueprint as Geek Squad. So we do on-site repair, remote repair for Windows, Macintoshes. Can you believe you know a tech guy who actually knows how to work a Mac? I would use the Mac today, with the Mac's in the bag, but the charger's at home. So that doesn't do me any good, does it? No, not at all. It's just stupid. So don't feel bad. I mean, so yeah, if you do anything like that, don't feel bad. Tech experts do that instead. You know, they do it anyway. So today we're here to talk about LinkedIn Ninja Tips. And I'm assuming that most of you have LinkedIn because we're at that point at our world. It's like Chat GPT, you know, everyone's trying to get into that, which is AI. But LinkedIn's been around for a while, and one of the challenges is, and Adrian and I were talking about this earlier, is that most of you realtors don't know what to do with LinkedIn, and that's okay. Because LinkedIn has made an evolution over the years as far as what it started out as far as social media and what it has become now as far as social media. So LinkedIn obviously started out, well, I shouldn't say obviously, because most of you may not know this, but it was the business professional site that you would use in order to find a job. But that all changed when Microsoft purchased LinkedIn, I would say probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and Microsoft realized that it needed to be more like a normal social media network, allowing you to do whatever you wanted to do on social media. So that's why LinkedIn has made that transition. So I'm here to tell you that with LinkedIn, you can do whatever the heck you want to do on LinkedIn. If you rock it at Facebook and you want to share your Facebook post to LinkedIn, do it. If you're killing it at TikTok, unlike me, I try to do the Cup It Challenge. Everyone raise their hands, you know what the Cup It Challenge is, right? If you want to see a horrible example of a black dude dancing and trying to do the Cup It Challenge, check me out. And I want to say on TikTok, it's all everywhere. But I tried it so many times and I got tired. I was like, man, I'm just posting this video. And it got good engagement, but yeah, I mean, it didn't showcase my dancing skills. And I was kind of embarrassed about it, but I went ahead and shared it. But if you want to share your pet videos or pet photos on LinkedIn, do it. The sole purpose of LinkedIn is to develop relationships. If you take away anything from today's presentation, remember that your goal is to develop relationships. It's not, you can occasionally show what homes you have in your inventory, and if you have a listing or an open house, that's great. You can also share if you've been part of the Producers Club or whatever realtors get as far as rewards are concerned. Real Estate Agent of the Year. People love that content because it shows that you are a rock star. But don't put too much into posting your real estate life. Meaning, today I sold a home, or would you like to buy a home? I'm your agent. You don't want to sell on social media. Show of hands. If you're currently active on LinkedIn, how many of you get the spam posts in your LinkedIn inbox from people trying to sell you stuff? It's horrible, isn't it? Now, I'm nice. I'll respond to people and say, sorry, no thanks, dude. I don't. But I mean, it helps develop that relationship. But you all should know from experience how much you hate those spammy selling posts. And we all know, I think I got a quote in here that says it, that people do business with people they know, like, and trust. It has always been that way. So your goal as real estate agents is, and I'm assuming everyone in here is a real estate agent, right? Because if not, I will use the term real estate professional to keep it PC. But I'll say realtors, that your goal is to be the shining star in your market. It's almost like that old, and the guys will only get this, that old 1980s movie Highlander. Your goal as far as social media is the goal of Highlander, which was there could be only one. I mean, not realistically, like you're going to kill your competition, but you want to be the name that people are tagging and mentioning on social media whenever it comes to someone saying, I have a house I want to sell, or I'm looking to find my dream home. That is your goal. But the only way to make that goal happen is to build better relationships. Now, I don't like to keep everything technical when I do presentations, so we're going to play a fun series called Myth or Fact. I'm going to show a photo, and then you get to shout out if it's a myth or if it's a fact. So question number 1, LinkedIn turns 20 years old this year. Is that a myth or is that a fact?
Myth.
I'm glad there's some diversity as far as answers in this class.
I'm going to go with the fact.
It's a fact. Wow. LinkedIn is one of the oldest social media networks out there. It even predates Facebook and it predates Twitter. It's old. And I've been on LinkedIn at least since 2009. And back then it was the resume network, but it's no longer. So again, LinkedIn isn't just for business. So one of the first things you want to use as a ninja tip is to consider that LinkedIn isn't just for businesses doing B2B. It's not the resume platform that you thought it was. That has gone. Now you still have the tools that you can use in order to set up a resume if you are a job seeker. So if you are or know somebody who's unemployed and they want to be able to connect with larger businesses, by all means tell them to set up a profile on LinkedIn. But the audience of LinkedIn has changed drastically, so you do have people that are looking to develop business and that are looking to connect with others and build relationships. So other than connecting with your fellow real estate agents in this room, which you can do, you want to connect with as many people as you want to, because even though there are a ton of business professionals on LinkedIn, you gotta remember, most people, I shouldn't say most, all people are consumers, are we not? At some point, we're gonna have to go to the store and purchase something, whether it be food, furniture, clothing, car, you name it. We are all consumers, and you have to, in the words of Yoda, unlearn what you have learned about LinkedIn and just get that solid thinking out of your head as far as what you can do on LinkedIn. The sky's the limit. As long as you are posting your positive self on LinkedIn, that's what you want to do. You want to develop those relationships and you want to get close to people. So we all meet people at different networking events, and you just have to think, well, how can I get my network more connected on LinkedIn? And so one of the things to do as a ninja tip is all those offline connections that you have, get them on LinkedIn, because everyone's on LinkedIn. Everyone and their mother, even their grandmammy may be on LinkedIn. I'm just going to tell you, it's the truth. Now, one of the challenges that I have, and I know many of you deal with, is those old business cards. I got a ton sitting on my desk right now, and I'm ashamed of that. But what you should start doing with your business cards and your connections on LinkedIn is to get those business cards. Not only do you want to add them to your CRM, because you got to have that, right? You got to find out when that last interaction occurred, whether you use an Act or Salesforce or whatever. You have to add your connections into your CRM. But you also have to think of LinkedIn as your second CRM, because what's the first thing people do when they switch careers? Anyone? Update their LinkedIn profile. Now, okay, Adrian, it's time for you, and your name again? Danica, to come on up, because we're going to talk about the quickest way that you can make those in-person connections on LinkedIn. But before I say that, the first thing you want to do is every business card you have on your desk, look that person up and find them on LinkedIn. I'm guaranteed that you do it. And when you make those connections, you can't just go find a person and click on connect. What you need to do is to personalize that connection request. Say, I don't know you, my business card's been sitting on your business card's been sitting on my desk for 2 years, and I'm just getting around to doing it. Anything to personalize that connection so that people will accept your connection request. But if you've got cards on your desk, add them to LinkedIn, because I'll guarantee that that person's on LinkedIn, and then you're going to be connected forever. So the big thing that I was talking about that ruined was the QR code. Everyone has a QR code with LinkedIn. How many people knew this? That's all I hand. Matt and Josh, why are you like raising your hand? That's how Josh and I connected at Florida Realty, not half far of that. So we're going to open up a scenario. It could be a networking scenario or just two people who just ran into each other and connected. Now what I want you to do first on your phones, everyone open up the LinkedIn app. On your phone, on your tablet, whatever. And let me know by raising your hand when you have LinkedIn open. All right, so when on the main LinkedIn screen, what you want to do is go to the very top of that screen and click on search. Once you click on the search option, there should be a QR code looking icon that appears on the right hand side. Everyone raise their hand when they get that. You know, like a certain president said, there's going to be no child left behind in this presentation. Everyone get, don't be ashamed if you can't find it. I will find you. And we're going to have it. Okay, do we have it?
Yeah, I see the search.
Oh, you've got to click, hold on, let me get by you too. Yeah, in the search.
Oh, yeah.
You overdid it. Let's try again. Let me help you out. No, ain't it? Oh, there it was, yeah, my bad, I didn't even see it, that's it. Okay, that's an Android, isn't it? Man, that's an Android. It's an Android.
If your laptop was an Android, you could afford it.
I'm sorry, what?
If your laptop was, if your Mac was an Android, you could borrow my cord.
I could, yeah. Okay, ladies, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so the way this works is this. So we got Adrian and Anika, right? So these two ladies are like, oh girl, hey, we should stay connected on LinkedIn. And what happens is that the screen that you have with the QR code is what? Who has the QR code? Oh, Nika's got it. So no, that ain't right. No, it's not. You gotta scan it.
Oh.
So what happens is, Danika's got her QR code for Adrian to scan. So Adrian needs to go to scan, so obviously she did not learn what I taught her earlier. Oh, she got it. Okay, so then what you do is just scan it. And then what it'll do is it'll pop up with Danika, and then yeah, there you go. So that's what it works. So with your neighbor, find somebody that you're next to. One of you go to scan, one of you display your QR code and connect with each other. Now I will say, okay, real quick, I want to say this.
I would say I could help you, but it's currently being
When you scan and pull up someone's LinkedIn profile, you do not want to click on follow. You want to click on connect. And everybody, y'all here. Y'all here. Well, you want to click on connect. You don't want to follow. You want to follow. Yeah.
So connect is that you can actually be able to see.
She will have to click on
Follow is
accept.
it's a
She will
one-way.
have to. So again, everyone, once you scan the QR code, it sends a connection request to the person that you scan. That person will then have to accept your connection request in order to make it work. Yeah. You think you did something wrong? You don't want to tell anybody. Let me see. Oh, because you're on a tablet. Is it this an iPad too? Yeah, you would work better.
Oh, I am in the way.
I just turned it off. That way it's.
It's not, I was just going to go on the iPad.
That way I'm not really changing.
Just walks around so that.
So is everyone connected with someone on LinkedIn? Is everyone familiar with how that works? That's fine. So what you would do is find your name again? All you would have to do is find Marcella, and then it will give you the option to connect with Marcella. So then what you would do is go to view full profile, and then go over to, well, you've got to accept yours first.
All the connection lists.
Right. Now, one other thing with QR codes, let me get everyone's attention, please. Hello. One other thing you can do with QR codes, you don't have to necessarily bring it up within the LinkedIn app. You can screenshot it, you can save it on your phones, you can have someone use their browser or their camera to connect with the QR code, but you can definitely put it on your real estate business cards, anything. You can save it, you can send it to other people and then they can share it. So it's very versatile as far as what you can do with your QR code. And remember, the goal again is to make those permanent connections on LinkedIn so that you're always connected with people. Yes. Did you not bring your smartphone? Oh, it's dated. Yeah. I got an Android phone or whatever. One of those things.
Yeah, I have my QR code saved on my phone.
Oh, do you? Okay.
It's on my website now.
Oh, yeah. You need to save the LinkedIn one too. Oh, you want me to bring up my card? Like the IT guy is just handing out equipment, right? Right, exactly. Exactly. Now, yours USB-C or what is it? Oh, that ain't C. That's like the old school Android. I may not have that one. Uh-oh, you need to be out of luck. All I got is whatever. Yeah, I should have it. I know. All right, so moving on. Again, when you are meeting for the first time, not through the QR code, you don't have to send personalized requests. But when you're doing your search for folks that you want to connect with that you don't know, always personalize that request so that people are more apt to accept your LinkedIn request. If you just hit connect, if you see somebody, then they're not going to accept. So for a quick example, see if I can get out of this presentation and make it do dual screen. Oh, look at that. So for example, if I go to my network, and keep in mind, I don't follow Phil, but at the same time, if it pops up, I'm not responsible. I really have to do that. Yeah. So let's say I marry Dr. Jade Singleton, and I'm like, I want to connect with Dr. Jade because I want to grow my network. So one of the things I want to stress with LinkedIn is how many of you have reached the 500 plus club as far as connections? If you're below 500 plus connections, people aren't really going to take you seriously on LinkedIn. LinkedIn doesn't always show you your connection numbers, but it will at least show when you reach 501. So your number one goal for today, other than doing QR codes, is to get to the 500 plus club on LinkedIn. It shows that you're a serious player. Oh, are you? Well, that's good.
How do you know?
Oh, when you go to your profile.
My network.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, followers are different than connections. Followers just see your content. Connections mean that you see each other's content. Did you guys hear me?
Yes.
So followers are different than connections. Followers are people you just follow. You don't interact. You don't want to just follow people. You want to connect with people, always. Because that way you can see each other's content. Yes, Anika?
So that was my question. Maybe, so if you click on more, if you're going to give me an option to connect versus follow.
Exactly, and that's what I was going to point out. So the first thing that I can do with Dr. J is I can follow her. And usually you'll get followers when you're like more than 3 degrees removed from a connection on LinkedIn. But if you want to send a request, then you click on more, scroll down, and then you can click on connect. Now, this differs on the desktop or laptop or Apple version. When you click on connect, when you're on your phone, it's going to automatically connect. So on your phone, it's going to have an additional option that says personalized invite. Now on your computer, whether it be a laptop, Mac, or desktop, whatever, you always want to choose the option to add a note. That way you can personalize your connection request when you're connecting with people on LinkedIn. So keep that in mind. Because again, with the request, people aren't going to follow you if it's just a blind request. Yes?
So if you've got a bunch of requests and people asking to connect with you, you suggest we just go ahead and accept them all?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because you want to, one of the things of having more connections, the algorithm is benevolent, or it's more accepting to accounts that have larger amounts of numbers. The more people you connect with, the more your content's going to be shared across LinkedIn, because truth be told, only about 2% of your connections see your content when you post on LinkedIn. Another fact, and I may talk about this later in the presentation, so don't shoot me, out of the 900 million people, yes, that's right, LinkedIn's almost at 1 billion connections, just like TikTok. Out of the 900 million people that have LinkedIn accounts, only 1% actually post content. And I know many of you are guilty of this because you get on LinkedIn and you just sit there and you scroll. The more you post, the more people are going to see your content and they're going to want to connect with you.
Now, maybe you're going to talk about this later. What is the purpose or the point of following them if you have to connect?
Well, for LinkedIn, for some odd reason, if you connect with someone, then you automatically follow them as well. In fact, it works both ways. If you connect with someone, you're going to be connected, they're going to follow you, and you're going to follow them. So, I mean, that's just the way LinkedIn works.
Right. So really, there's no point to ever following anyone.
Right, exactly. You want to connect with everybody. But I will tell you this. When you reach 30,000 connections on LinkedIn, the only thing people can do is follow you. That's the max. Facebook has its max at 5,000. I think Twitter is at 1 million plus. But when you reach that max, then you have that follow option because you've got too many followers. By then you're a rock star, and then you want people to still follow you so that they can see your content. Yes?
One reason to connect with more people is that it increases your lower degrees. So if you want to get in touch with someone and you're not connected with them, you know, in some way, you're going to have a harder time reaching out to them.
Right. So the question.
Finding them.
Right. So the question is that the more you connect with people, the more it's going to bring you degrees closer to someone. So you will no longer be 6 degrees separated by someone. You're going to be 1 or 2 degrees selected by people, because what LinkedIn will do is it'll look at all your connections and then find mutual connections that you can maybe connect to. That's an excellent point. Yes.
So I know you probably covered this, but if they're just like connect, then and I click connect, then that's all I have to do, correct?
That's all. Yeah. Then you're connected. Yes. We had a question in the back.
Is there a way to research if I just want to do like a 2 or 3 mile radius of where I want to be and then connect to?
Oh my gosh, get out of my head. Yes, that's what this map is up here for. Now you can't do mile radius. You can do cities. Like if you only wanted to do Atlanta, you could just type in the word Atlanta under the search option in LinkedIn, and it will find everyone in the Atlanta area. It doesn't do mileage. It's just different cities in the Atlanta metro.
Can I do a neighborhood or a street?
No, that's more next door. That's a different, that's next door. LinkedIn doesn't tune in that because it doesn't want to be neighborhood centric. It wants to be city centric. So it will do cities, but it won't do specific neighborhoods. And that's a good question. Which brings up, are you on Nextdoor? Okay, well,
I am, but not professionally.
What'd you say?
I said I am, but not professionally.
Okay. I mean, you should. LinkedIn for real estate agents is huge. So if you're wanting those, I want to cultivate this neighborhood, then Nextdoor's for you. Yes?
So it seems to me that the search features changed dramatically a couple of years ago, where I might have been able to go in and say search IBM for a particular name, or search IBM for a particular position, and you know, I want to see all the people who are in personnel at Home Depot. And it doesn't seem like you can do that.
Are you on the paid version or the free version?
Paid.
Okay, now one of the ways to get around that with free or paid, and so the question is, if you want to find a specific person who works at a specific company, LinkedIn used to be more encouraging of that. And remember, old LinkedIn was for you to be able to find those people on the free and the paid version. Now, new LinkedIn is more like, well, yeah, I can kind of show you that information. And the only thing you can do to personalize that search is to put a comma to make sure that you can personalize it by company and personnel. So that's why you're not able to see that feature anymore, because it's evolved, you know, to more about, we want you to connect, but we're not going to let you find the CEO or whoever of a company, because one of the challenges is, and you know this, we'll spam people on LinkedIn, and they want to at least put a stop to that in a way.
Yeah, I used it to get a hold of the regional vice president of Comcast when I couldn't get service.
Right.
Get them at home.
Mm-hmm. But you have to also think about, too, now that more people are branching out on LinkedIn, people are starting to make their accounts private. So that may be why you're not able to search, and some people will even make it that you have to know their email address in order to send them a connection request on LinkedIn. So that may be some of what you're seeing, too. Now let's breeze on, so don't self-pitch. I said it again, don't say it. So one of the other things you want to do is you want to ignore the algorithm on LinkedIn and just focus on relationships. I'm bad with names. Erica was asking earlier about people don't engage with me because you're looking at the algorithm search on LinkedIn, correct?
Right.
Yes, because they're lurkers. That's why you're not seeing it, because they're scrolling past your content, but they're not engaging, because LinkedIn is that type of network where people are like unsure, but I still want to see what's going on with so-and-so. You know, we all have haters out there and they want to see what's going on. Yeah. But keep in mind this too. Rather than focusing on the algorithm, focus more on the content that you need to be sharing on social media, because the more content that you're sharing on LinkedIn, the more that it's going to build trust because people see that you're around and you're posting valuable content, and they're going to want to do business with you once they trust you. I like this quote. And I'm just going to leave that up there. Because most of you are focusing on people commenting on your posts on LinkedIn and liking and loving and sharing and laughing. That just doesn't happen on LinkedIn or a lot of the social media networks. People see it. Ignore the noise. Just create content and just go about your business. I'm at the point in the Kansas City metro area, I cannot go anywhere without someone recognizing me from LinkedIn. And I'm on national and international TV too, so that has a play, but LinkedIn is huge. One of the scariest things that happened with LinkedIn was at a bar with one of our customers. We were waiting on some process to go on with their computer. This lady and her husband come running up, "Oh my God, it's Burton. We see your LinkedIn live all the time." And sometimes I feel bad when people come up to me, so I do the fake, "Yay!" I had no clue who this couple was. None. But that will begin to happen once you grow your network on LinkedIn. So one of the good things that you can do on social media, let me go back, is on LinkedIn, happy birthday post. In fact, LinkedIn is so embraced about it now, they have a section that's invaded called celebrations. The celebrations section will not only let you see birthdays, but it will also let you see work anniversaries, and it will also let you see career changes. Now, the one that I would embrace fully would be for you to send out happy birthday requests every time it shows up in your LinkedIn feed around 9 o'clock in the morning, but personalize it. Don't just use it because it'll fill in and say happy birthday. No one wants to see that. To someone you haven't seen for a while, say, "Hey, I haven't seen you for a while, happy birthday." But personalize it so that way people will know that you're still thinking about them, because with all social media, including LinkedIn, the more you interact with people, the more they're going to see your posts. So the more you're interacting with people, not necessarily sharing content, but just interacting with their profile, it's going to get you seen by more people. And for God's sake, yes, Erica.
Where are you seeing celebrations? How are you able to access that?
From a desktop. But in your LinkedIn, but also too in your LinkedIn feed on your smartphone, it will pop up under alerts and say you have so-and-so is celebrating a birthday today. So click on it and personalize it. Another thing you want to do is tag people. If someone posts something awesome, or maybe it just sucks, don't tell them it sucks, but tag them, just to let them know that you see it. It helps build relationships. I have connected with several celebrities by just tagging them in their social media posts, because they're people too, and they like when people enjoy their posts, so tag them. Now, the way you don't want to tag people is to make sure that you're not tagging when you're selling something or that you have a house that went on the market. Don't do that. Just a joyful post to say, "Hey, I saw what you're doing, I see you, and I'm going to tag you in this post." Faces matter on LinkedIn. I'm huge into selfies. Huge. It makes people think that you actually like people. Not that I love people, but I'm really an introvert, believe it or not. But selfies help create that persona that you are a people person. So whenever you're out and you run into someone that you know and maybe you think that their network, they have a good network, post a photo of you doing a selfie and then tag the person so that their network knows that you know somebody. So faces matter. I know a lot of people will post content with just an inspirational post. They will post content with just a photo. But make sure if you're going to post like motivational quotes, take a photo of yourself and then superimpose your text on the photo so that it shows your face, whether you're smiling or frowning, and that way it brings and it helps build up that connection. And I hate to tell you this, on LinkedIn, you can't ignore video. You got to do it. Now, I will say that there's 2 ways to do video properly on LinkedIn. Number one, you can share organic video from your phone. So that means, organic means you took video on your phone and then you're going to upload it to LinkedIn. So let's say that you're at a party, you're filming people, you're going to post it to LinkedIn. Make sure it stays under 10 minutes. Because if it's 10 minutes, 1 second, LinkedIn won't post it for you. It really won't. But video goes, Well, I know it's a long video and everyone's in the short form video now, which is okay.
But
You
it's
can
cool
use-
to know that you can do a long video.
Oh, heck yeah. If there's something spectacular that's at least a minute or two, yeah, take video of it and then upload it to LinkedIn. But sometimes people get carried away and they'll upload stuff and it's like 11 minutes and then they're texting me, Bergen, why won't my video load? Too long, that's why. But also with LinkedIn, you can do LinkedIn Live, which if you're not familiar with using LinkedIn Live, then you want to avoid it for a little bit because LinkedIn Live isn't like TikTok or Facebook where you can just click on the live button. You have to use third-party software to get into LinkedIn Live, and it's more geared for thought providers, people that know a lot, not to say that you ladies and gents don't know a lot about real estate, but have become such a brand that they want to be able to share tips and tricks on whatever subject that they think that they're an expert at. That's what LinkedIn Live is for. But I will tell you that LinkedIn Live, when you go live, your whole network sees it. Everyone, when you go live, it'll say, oh, Adrian's gone live, Erica's gone live. Consider that. But get a grasp on LinkedIn first, then look at that. Now, when you post on LinkedIn, you need to focus on the go-giving aspect. And this is where content comes in. You need to be go-givers as far as what you're sharing on LinkedIn. Because again, like I talked about, people don't really care about your business. They don't. Sometimes you may be with Berkshire Hathaway or KW, but they just associate you with your name as the real estate agent. And that's kind of what you want, but don't focus too much on toot your own horn when it comes to LinkedIn. And also, always work on developing content by finding your passion. So again, if you love cats, share it. You love cooking, share it. If you love artwork or you're an artist, share it. If you're a gardener, share it. That makes it easier for you to share the type of content that people are looking for on LinkedIn because they're on the network to be entertained. That's why you have all these lurkers on the network. They're just looking to take up time. One of the best examples you can do is not this post, but something similar to it, which was eye-opening to me. How many people knew this? See, no one knew. I didn't know about the fitted sheet. Yeah. See, now everyone's like, oh my gosh. Think about all of the real estate tips that you could be sharing with your network. I mean, you can still buy something. You gotta take a photo of that. Yeah, steal it, share it. Because people don't know, and that's the type of information people are looking for. When you're thinking of content and being a go-giver, how do I prepare my house for a move? What should I look for if I'm moving into a new house? How should I improve my, landscape if I'm putting my house on the market? Those are the types of information that people want, and it associates you with your real estate business, and it helps raise your level as a rock star. So consider those posts and consider sharing tips, not every day, but every now and then you can use the hashtag of Wednesday Wisdom to share those interesting posts. Now, I don't know if I have it in this slide deck, but let's skip ahead a little. Oh, here's my favorite one.
I have a question. I was going to ask you about that. Sorry. The hashtags. How do you feel about using hashtags, or I guess what's the strategy for hashtags on LinkedIn? Because I know
5.
Instagram.
Right, so 5 is the maximum that you want to use on LinkedIn. The hashtags that you want to use are associated with you. If you're in the Atlanta area, you need to use the hashtag Atlanta. One of the most obvious hashtags. You got it. You thought I was going to point you out? No, that's real estate. Rockstar real estate agent or realtor. Those are the hashtags that you want to use. If you're using something towards pets or another passion of yours, you want to throw that hashtag in too because it opens you up to a whole new audience. One of the best things that you can do for content creation and just being a shared go-giver is to visit these 2 websites, National Day Calendar and National Today. Every day is a holiday. And we all know what the 2nd was, right? So February? No one's going to say it? It was Groundhog Day. And a good question to ask that works with a National Day post is, do you think the groundhog saw a shadow or is he going to see it? How do you feel about that? So I'm curious if someone's gonna look up on their phone what National Today is, if they already know. It could be National Burrito Day. You could wrap that up and say, hey, who has the best burritos in the Atlanta area? And that gets the dialogue going on LinkedIn because people are always gonna have their own favorites, you know?
That's an app, right?
It's a website. They'll even let you go to the website and like you can click on where you want to share that national data. So good content. Next, it's okay to share content from other social media platforms. If you're rocking it out on Insta or Facebook or even TikTok, share those posts on LinkedIn. That way you don't have to worry about creating new content. It's okay to cross-post. The chances that people are going to see what you posted on TikTok versus what you posted on LinkedIn are slim to none. And even if they see it, people are going to be like, no, I'm okay with that. I understand what they're trying to achieve. So do it to take out the stress in your life when it comes to posting content on social media. There's nothing wrong with recycling posts as well. If there was an old post that you made on LinkedIn last year, share it again. I'm not going to remember, and neither is your network. So just share it all over again. And that way you don't have to work at being a LinkedIn rock star. Yes?
It's National Fettuccine Alfredo Day.
Oh, look at that. That's what, that's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. So things that you can work with National Day is, number one, who's got the best fettuccine Alfredo in the Atlanta area? Oh, okay, you can put that on there. None of y'all can beat me. Another thing for National was it Send Out Card Day?
Send a card to a friend.
Send card to a friend day. Ask people, when's the last time you sent a snail mail card to someone? It's going to get the engagement going. So think about that type of content if you're wanting to get more likes and clicks on your LinkedIn profile. And again, it's okay to share, it's okay to reshare, because again, you don't want social media to be a chore because you have homes to sell and homes to help people buy, so you've got to run your business. So recycle that content. And remember with LinkedIn, it's a marathon. Don't go home tonight and say, oh man, I had information burden. That was cool, I'm gonna post tonight. And then a month later, you out of the game, and you're like, man, this is too much work. I ain't doing this. Because I mean, it's all about consistency. All about it. It's the long game that you need to be playing with LinkedIn. You have to play the long game in order to get it going. I've had people that have been connected. This happened yesterday. I walked in a coffee shop, and I was trying to be incognito because I knew I was going to be spotted, right? So I had a hoodie on, I go walking in my hands, in my pocket, and I hear, Bert. And I was like, damn, you know? Who is this? Someone I connected with on LinkedIn 5 years prior, and they recognized me. So of course I had to go over. And of course I didn't know who the heck it was. But I mean, that's how it works. You've got to be consistent. You've got to keep up the process of posting on LinkedIn because, again, people are not going to engage. So get that out of your head. Get the, well, I only got 2 likes on this. That's okay. It's probably 100 people that saw it or more. So think about that and just be consistent. And another thing you want to do is build your social media LinkedIn calendar by coming up with ways of creating content. And the best way to do that is to do hashtags. So hashtags have a different theme for every day of the week. So today is Tuesday, and I forget what it is other than Tech Tuesday, and that deals with my industry. You could do, well, yeah, it's always Taco Tuesday. That's what's up. You get it. Can't mess with that. But here, I've got a whole list of them. I gotta have it. There you go, take a photo. I stole that too.
My day too.
That way, it will help you come up with content for you to post on social media. Because you will have those days where you're like, man, I know I need to post, but I can't think of anything. Use a hashtag. What is Tuesday? Transformation Tuesday, Happy Tuesday, Travel Tuesday? Yes.
As far as articles go on LinkedIn, for instance, we're talking about Fettuccine Alfredo Day. Is it better to post like a picture of yourself with something and then a question, or is it better to link to an article?
No, I'm gonna stop you right there. Not because I don't, because I do, but never share links on LinkedIn. especially when you're directing people to another website. Because LinkedIn hates that. The algorithm says, oh man, you're trying to get them off our profile. And then, especially if you're sharing a YouTube video, they're like, no. So it'll post, but the algorithm will suppress it so no one sees it. So always put your smiling face up there with a big old bowl of fettuccine Alfredo, and that will help people, connect people, especially if you're bragging and saying you've got the best fettuccine Alfredo in the Atlanta area. You probably could go further and say the state of Georgia, you know? So, but yeah, those are some good hashtags and good ways to come up with content. And another way to come up with content is to always make sure that you're constantly taking photos of interesting things that you see, take videos of interesting things that you can see. So on your smartphone, you can always think of a post to come up with and post on LinkedIn. Now, as far as the best time to post on LinkedIn is, I would say between 6 in the morning to 9 in the morning, and then after lunch up until 5 o'clock. Because you know how we do it, is that after lunch, it's really done. You go to Chipotle, go wherever, you eat, you get a food coma, and you're like, no, all I want to do is scroll on social media. So consider that. And then finally, I want to make sure that you're protecting your social media accounts, because there are criminals out there that will hack them or that will duplicate them. So to do that, I've got to get out of PowerPoint and go into LinkedIn. Now, on the app and on the desktop version, you want to go to your main LinkedIn page, wherever that is. Once you're there, I guess you didn't necessarily have to do that. But anyway, you want to go to You, and then you want to go to Settings and Privacy, however you get it on your phone. And then once you're in there, you want to go to, sign in and security. Email address is okay, phone numbers are okay. If you haven't changed your LinkedIn profile password in a while, now's the time to do it, because your passwords get leaked out on the web from data breaches and people can get into your LinkedIn profile. The main thing that you want to do, and it's turned off on my account, is to turn on two-step or two-factor authentication. This means if a criminal gets hold of your LinkedIn profile, they will log in, but then they can't get the second form of verification because it's going to send it to your smartphone. And before, I'm going to go to set it up. One of the things you want to do when you set up two-factor authentication or two-step authentication on LinkedIn is to use the phone number SMS. That means it's going to send you a text message. Authenticator, don't ask what it is. Kind of geek speak. You really don't want to know what it is. But always set up two-factor authentication on your LinkedIn account.
And then use the phone, choose phone number.
Choose the phone number to do it. And I won't get into the don't do this, but I will end with the last myth or fact. So myth or fact, the show Ozarks, I gotta change it. In the show Ozarks, the Bird family was trying to outrun the Italian mafia. Is that a myth or is that a fact? We've got some Ozark fans here. And I only live 2 hours away from the Ozarks in Missouri. So it is a myth. The birds were trying to outrun who?
Mexico.
The Mexican cartel. And I think they should have went to jail. So anyway, to wrap things up, real quickly, focus on the relationship aspect of LinkedIn. Please, don't worry about the algorithm, don't worry about the numbers, just always focus on building relationships with people like you would do in real life. So share stuff, talk to people, interact with them, and then your LinkedIn profile will be great. So that's me, Bert Kelso. You can find me on LinkedIn or all of the other social media platforms out there. So come on up.
Man, I hope you guys took a couple of pictures. I definitely like the hashtag day. I like the double sheets for the bed. Again, some great ideas for different content posts that you can have on LinkedIn. And definitely connect with me as well. So Josh Kujar as well. So you can connect with us. We'll always share some cool Shawami stuff ahead of time, which is kind of unique. We don't always just do things throughout the emails. I actually will sneak post in probably a whole week before we actually launch it through email. So if you want to learn what Shawami is doing ahead of time,